Today, I am going to share a story unlike any other. And it is all true. Imagine this. One of the greatest spies of World War II, a woman whose whispered deceptions may have tipped the scales for the Allies, ensuring the Nazis' downfall on the blood-soaked beaches of Normandy. Her exploits sound like pages ripped from a Mission Impossible thriller. Glamorous, galas, and lies that lured panzers to the wrong shore. But she harbored a deadly secret, one that could have spelled torture and death from the Gestapo, or hard labor and prison bars from her own stiff upper lip brass. In the velvet shadows of blitz-torn London, that woman's whispers could reroute armies, or end in a dawn ray. She was no prim and proper codebreaker, hunched in a basement, cracking an enigma code with a slide rule while sipping her cup of tea. No, she was a socialite, storming Knightsbridge's ballroom, armed with champagne flutes and secrets, and a wit that was sharper than her stilettos. She was one of Britain's greatest assets, and she scared her own handlers silly. This is the true story of Elvira Chaudois, or Bronx, as she was called by her British handlers. She was a breaker of hearts to the right, a Peruvian wildfire in a world of flickering candles. Her story would make Mata Hari blush, and it is all true. But before she became Bronx, before she fooled admirals and lured panzers astray, before she terrified her own handlers, there was a meeting. A rain-soaked rendezvous in war-torn London. Elvira had whispered her offer into the right ears. Secrets, intelligence, a chance to strike the Reich. The response from British intelligence? Send Harmer. Christopher Harmer, a man whose idea of scandal was a crooked tie, whose natural habitat was dusty files and committee rule, a man profoundly allergic to beautiful, unpredictable women bearing dubious gifts. Poor Christopher. He had no idea what he was walking into. Which brings us to that first face-to-face, the spark that nearly fizzled before it flared.
Only an intelligence officer would be waiting outside in the rain like this. You must be Harmer.
Miss Chaudoir, shall we go inside?
Oh, I think not. Wolves have ears, don't they? Besides, the rain adds atmosphere, don't you think? You look sceptical, darling.
I'm here as a courtesy. We receive dozens of offers like yours every week. Most are fantasies from bored socialites looking for excitement.
How tedious for you. No wonder you look so stuck up. But I'm not offering you gossip from cocktail parties, darling. I have the Abwehr's ear.
I'm listening.
A charming handler in Lisbon named Gustav Blyle. Everyone calls him Bibi. Absolutely smitten with me. Somehow, I can't imagine why. He thinks I'm a disillusioned socialite desperate for money and excitement. He wants me to spy on London's elite. He's petrified of being sent to the Russian front and is terribly anxious for me to send him juicy bits to make him look good so he can keep his job.
And why haven't you?
I have my own reasons for hating the Nazis. But never mind that, darling. You just need to give me those juicy bits he wants, so he will believe anything. Maybe I could tell him I met this good-looking British intelligence officer who talks too much in bed. A man who could not resist my charms. We should work on our pillow talk.
Miss Chaudoir, I am a married man.
Oh, do lighten up. I didn't say we would actually do anything. Besides, I don't have time to teach an English schoolboy new tricks. That doesn't mean we can't get creative with what we tell him.
This isn't a game, Miss Chaudoir.
No, it's a war, and I intend to win it. The question is, are you brave enough to let me?
Miss Chaudoir, perhaps I've underestimated your talents. But before we go any further, you have to be thoroughly vetted.
Christopher, darling, that sounds wonderfully naughty. I can't wait. Will you be investigating all my talents yourself?
That's not what I meant. We will be investigating every aspect of your background and your private life. I need to know if you have any skeletons in your closet.
My background? There are oodles of skeletons, Christopher. Positively oodles. Now you boys just have to decide if winning the war is important enough for you to look the other way.
You will be on a tight leash.
Darling, I prefer to be on top, if you know what I mean. Now, be a good boy and do your thing so we can get started.
And so began the legend of Bronx, the woman who would haunt British intelligence for years to come. Harmer saw it, even through his proper British skepticism. This woman possessed something extraordinary. The ability to lie, to seduce, to manipulate, not with desperation, but with artistry. A natural talent for deception that couldn't be taught. If she were genuine, she could be invaluable. If she were playing them, she could be catastrophic. The 20 committee faced a decision. But first, they needed to know who was Elvira Chaudois. Harmer ordered a thorough investigation. Background checks, financial records, known associates. The usual complications were expected. Questionable lovers, perhaps. Debts, maybe a scandal or two. What they found was something else entirely. Something that should have ended her recruitment before it began. Something that in 1942 could mean imprisonment or worse. Her file landed on Harmer's desk with a thud, and there, in black and white, was a word that changed everything. A single word, in capital letters, underlined. Would they take the risk? Or would Elvira Chaudois be turned away before she could prove herself? The 20 committee would have to decide. And their decision would be unconventional. To be continued.
I will neither confirm nor deny what they said about me, darling. But do subscribe. I can't wait for you to see how I tormented poor Christopher next.